Okay, I'm getting ready to put a resaw table on this setup, and I'm going to try and slow down a little bit on my movement so that I don't make you guys seasick in my turning. This is a Grizzly 17-inch bandsaw, and it's pipe for dust collection. The only real modifications I've done is I've added a piece of 90-degree galvanized angle iron on there, and I mounted it to the original holes that are on the bandsaw, and then I mounted on the bottom of that a couple of about 2.5-inch piano or just regular door hinges, and then on top of that I dowel bolted. This has got a dowel bolt. It's a bolt with a little dowel on the end of it, and draws it up good and tight, makes it really solid. This frame was made right here out of red oak, and then I did the same thing over here on this side. I just used the existing bolt pattern in the table, and then this allows me a little bit of give for that. Then I use dowel bolts there, dowel bolts there, and so everything is like that front to back, and it's been working for several years. I've gotten 50 logs or so probably cut on this thing, and so this is the base of it. Now this is set up like this so that this table will still slide. So if I really want to, I can get in here and rip a little piece. The bandsaw is 220 volt wired, 220. It does have the tension thing on it, so while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to slide it down there, and we're just going to fire it up for the fun of it, just to see if she'll fire up. And so there we go, we're good there. Everything sounds good. I'll probably sharpen that blade pretty quickly into the resaw. I've got a bunch of logs right out the door, probably 30 logs that are right outside the door. This bit has already resawed quite a few logs, and I'll probably take a Dremel and touch it off and get it to Dremeling and get it to where it's sharp again. So use a chainsaw Dremel on that. And then these tables here are pump tables. You just pump them up with a pedal, and they go up to different heights, so they will support the bulk of the log. And then there's the outfeed table. That's the infeed table. I have a winch over here that I'm going to put on, and do need to get my battery charger up here. But anyway, these are my tables, and right now we're going to take these two pieces right here. These are framed out of 1x4s. And this is looks like some 5/8 plywood, or this is a 1/2-inch plywood laminated onto a piece of 1/4-inch plywood. And these are the roller bearings that go on that. And basically what I did is I just put a piece of the 1/4-inch, glued it to the 1x4, and then I drilled these holes for the bearings, and they just slip in there, and they just, doesn't matter what orientation they are. They just basically, just fit in there. So I can take them out, and the bearings don't have any screws in them or anything. They're just held in place there by this piece of 1/2-inch plywood on top of it, and that kind of thing. So this has legs. It's going to come on it. This is the sled that's come on it, and as you can see, I've run it pretty good, and it's starting to wear some little slots in it from going all over the bearings over here. These are the side rails. I'm getting ready to mount them up, and let's go ahead and start getting this thing done. I'm not going to narrate the whole thing, but I will narrate some of it. And of course I have a little setup with bolts, and these are just the carriage bolts that go in it. Just need to get a drill with a gator end on it and get her going. So got a little paste wax to lube it up a little bit. And then I'm going to be changing the way I did the return path. I used to have just a bucket. This time I got some disc stuff here that Christians use it, and I could have told you what the name of it was about a minute ago, but I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, so I'll be cutting that down, and that will glue or bolt onto my vertical 2x4 that does the return. And this little guy right here will stabilize the bucket and going up and down. So I'll be making a carriage for that. And my return weight, is these weights my son had done when he was doing workouts and I'm too lazy to do those. I just work. Anyway, there's 95 pounds of weight there, and I'll build a box that holds them, and that's the return weight that draws the logs and the sled back to the start position. So the winch pulls it, and then that weight draws it back. So let me go ahead and get this thing set up. I've got a video camera running in the background, and we'll just do that as a time lapse. I may narrate a couple little things, but basically those bolts will all bolt into the sides, and the legs will come down and fit over the top of it. So we'll get that done. Alright, let's get this put together. Keep them bungee, keep them in the back of the shop over there. And I haven't resawed for almost been 2 years since I last had these tables out. So we'll get them out. And one side fits on this side, and of course the other side fits on the other side. And they only fit on one way. And they have legs that are on here. Then I'll get the bolt out and take the legs off of it and get that done first. And then there's the other brace that fits on the thing. Let's get that out. Right, that's the end. It's the end of the leg. So we can get this to come out. Right. These are held on by just regular bolts and wing nuts. So all I do is just tighten them up. Let's tighten them up a little bit. Get them straight. And then this will go into that. Bring that up a little bit. And move this up to there. This has a red mark along here that lines the line up. Of course, it bolts up to here as well. This is just a flat washer on both sides. And that goes in there like that. And the first nut goes in. Put a little bit of that in there. In there as well. These on here are just a lot more fun because they're short distance in here for the drill to get in there. I could put the impact in. Probably have a little bit funner time of putting it together. But, oh well, we'll just make do with what we got here. fell over to the side there. Put that on. And run that up. I generally leave them just a little, you know, just kind of snug them up with a finger, and then I'll go back and tighten them all back together. These two here get one on there as well. This stuff is relatively light. It's wonderful because I can only handle a 4-foot long log physically without having, you know, without having something definitely better to support it with. So this is the same thing, just a different direction. And it's over around this way. Bring it on up to right here and get her set up. Looks like my wife is asking me to do something here. What do you need help for, dear?
Get my necklace up and I need to return it.
Okay. Okay. Let's line this up a little bit. This has bolts here that it lines to. Leave that one a little bit loose yet. Put this one back in the leg so that I can find it again when it's time to put it up. Somewhere. Okay, let's get these on here, the side. There's red marks here where they fit together. And a little high. There we go. Okay. 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 All right. So, cable's on there for the biggest part, and we're looking all right. It's got a little rise in that back corner. I generally move it a little bit over on the. There we go. Generally have it over here just a little bit more, but I'm taking up more of my room all the time. So let's go ahead and get the other parts on and get her situated. All right. Let's put this on. Okay. This one is holds the slot together, so I've got to take that off there to go around that. Take that off there. Got a couple of bolts here that keep it all lined together. And
I'm going to be gone for a while. I have 3 other stops to make.
okay,
Plus up there. Okay.
have fun. Okay. All this thing does is it's a curve keeper, and that is all it does. And it basically keeps this right there at bay so that it stays put. So go ahead and put them back in there. And I thought I had hardwood for this, but apparently not. There's a lineup spot for the thing. Okay. All right, that's on there. And next thing we need to put on here is the side rails that slide in on each side of the table. So they'll go in there like that. And we'll put this one on there. This has got the two vertical, the sideways and the vertical all on it. So we can see if we can get this part without dropping it on me here. Okay. All right. And these only go on one way. One's for that side. This one's for this side. It's probably easier to go ahead and put wax on this right now while it's off there. So I'll go ahead and do that. And that way she'll slide good and that kind of thing. And all this is just a plywood rabbit. And it don't take much. Hardly at all really anything. It's just a matter of getting a little bit of stuff in there, putting another little bit of paste wax on there. Same with that one over there. Get your edge that rides up and get some wax on it. Again, it doesn't take a whole lot of wax on here. It's basically just there to make it slide. Alright, then this guy here sits back right in here. And it sits over the top of that table, that sled. This one fits on the other side of the sled, right here. And we take the bolts and bolt it up. And then this sled right here will go in. It's got little toggles. Let's get it out of the way so it's not in the way. That kind of thing. Not a bad idea to throw a little wax right there on that thing either. Even though I just put some on there. Yeah, I won't do it. It's really got some on it. Okay, so we'll put that right in here. And it'll sit up there on top of that. I've got these holes marked where this all goes together with in the red holes, and then I have a line marked over here on the side where it starts and it goes together. So pretty straightforward. There's a line here. I just need to get up to that line there, get a start on it. And then the other side will be held up by that. And let's go ahead and put that up there like that. Put that in there. And go ahead and get that out of the way for a minute. Like that. Okay. Nice thing about this is it doesn't take a lot of pressure to hold this on there. I mean, it's basically it's held on there by a little bit of friction, but it's you know, there's a gap in the table there, but you know, it probably has an 1/8 inch of rattle ability, you know, where it'll move an 1/8 of an inch. I just bring them up to where they'll stay on there. Then I'll do the same for the other side. put this all the way down. Get it out of the way there. And this thing right here is it's helped with that, that's for sure. You gotta watch your fingers with these wing nuts, even though they're really handy for, being able to get them in there. They'll twist your toes. They'll twist your fingers up too, so I'll just get them up close. As far as getting it started, that's the way to do it. Try and do it by hand. It gets to be more fun. And I could be using a regular socket on the thing, which I probably should be, but these are hardened, so they're not going to do too much damage to them. Okay. Give them a little bump for tightness. And again, I'm just holding that wing nut with my finger to keep it snug. All right. This one here, we just bring it down a little bit. Get that bolted up. Leave it loose a little bit. We'll get the other side in here. Don't drag your feet in the shop. Might hit a vacuum hose. This is, again, it's been probably 2 years since I've resawed. So it takes a little while to get things going. On this slot right here, it was a perfect 1/8 inch slot down to here. Now it's been watered out. That's from your dull blades going to town, and you don't think they won't wander. They will when they get dull. So keep your blades sharp. When I first started doing this, I didn't really have the sharp, so I would push the blades a little bit farther than I needed to. But since then, I've learned when I can hear them, not running right, you can hear it with your ears, and bind up. Then that's the time to get the Dremel out and sharpen it. It takes about 7-8 minutes. Get her sharpened up and go again for another half dozen. So I think my longest use of these just bimetal, I've probably cut close to 30 logs without one of them breaking, and resharpening it at least 5 or 6 times. Well, I bypassed the cardinal rule. I tighten it up until you get done. Get them all in there. I sure enough did it. Alright, let's see if we can get that one to come up now. There we go. Okay, that is all right. We got that in there. The stop is there. This stops here, and then this stops here as far as the sled goes. So that's where those stop at. Next thing is to get the vertical put on, and this is the vertical with the ropes and the bucket, and I'm going to be making a new bucket for it. And this thing actually goes all the way to the top, and then it goes down. So, and that goes all the way over to there to that. So let's get that done. Okay. Get that there. And that goes down to the bucket. All right. This goes over here to that. And this gets bolted onto, this goes through here. Let's go ahead and bolt it up. Okay. There's that. And there's that bolt. And I think that one gets screwed to the legs first. So let's do that. All right. Okay, let's see where this is at here. Okay. Goes up there like that. And it goes down there like that. Good. Okay.
Cedar Communications. You can also listen for free online at 987.com.
Okay. Hello there, folks. This is my Resaw sled. This has taken me many years to get to this point, and I'm just going to give you a real quick overview of what I got going on here. Of course, I have a 2-horse Grizzly bandsaw, and I have replaced the motor on that one time. It just burned up out of the blue, and they gave me another one, so I redid that. There's my dust collection that goes over to a dust deputy over there. Does a fine job of doing that. Dry mill 6-8 logs. That 15-gallon dust collector will be full. The nice thing about this resaw table is that it's light, and it's I can take it apart and set it up. It takes about 45 minutes to put it on there and bolt up. There's a video on YouTube on my channel that shows how to put the thing on, so I'm not going to go into that. But basically, it's made out of 1x4, and the 1x4s are, everything's bolted and hinged. When I put it in storage mode, I do put screws in there to do that. So the 1x4s are in there. These are all glued. Then on top of that, I have a 1/4-inch Luan sheet that's down here. It's like a full underlayment that was glued onto that, and that strengthened everything up. And upon top of that, I drilled these 1/2-inch pieces of plywood. They may be 5/8, probably 1/2 inch looks like. And I drilled these with a Forstner bit and basically put it on a drill press and drilled all these holes all the way down the end of that. And they're just holes, and these just, they can be rotated. There's not screwed in or anything. They just sit down in there, and then this overlays that, and then this is screwed down on top of that. So that's worked good. Then, as I discovered, I needed rails to hold my sled down, and so I made these rails out of the 3/4-inch red oak plywood that I had on hand, and that holds both sides of the sled down. I also incorporated a little 1/4-inch spacer in there in case I needed something that wore out, whatever it was. And then I also put a little paste wax underneath there all the way across that thing to get it going on. While I'm done at this end, this is the winch. It's a worn winch, and when I first was doing this, I was pulling this out each time and pulling it down there. And after fighting, after you get the big logs on there, after about the 4th or 5th log, you're worn out. So I decided to go with the winch, and I have 2 lines, a line going to the pulley and then coming back and bolted down here to the end of the table. And this is being power supplied by a 200 amp starter, and it gives me the option of 6-volt or 12-volt. The 6-volt will slow it down by half, and the 12 volts full speed ahead, and that works out real well. I went through and put bolts on everything. I took the wire rope off of the winch and put on just some cloth rope that was rated at, I don't know, 400 pounds or something like that. And then the slide, a little bit about it. This is the saw kerf. I have to take this off to slide this over that, and of course I have to pull my pins to get my ropes through there and everything. And they do a pretty good job. I've got that bolted in for pressure's sake. And then on my sled, this is the saw kerf. As you can tell by looking at this kerf, that that blade's been dulled quite a few times, and it's went cattywampus and the stuff. I've resawed walnut oak, maple, cedar, red oak, white oak, and curly maple, and just all kinds of different stuff I've put on through here and out of logs. So this is 4 feet. I don't have any land to justify a bandsaw mill, and not really interested in all that work that goes with that. So I just take trees that people donate, and a lot of these trees, I've got 30 cedar logs. This is the smallest one, and I've got 30 cedar logs out here outside the driveway that I'm getting ready to mill into lumber, and I turn these into Royal Ranger projects for the biggest part, and do some fundraising for the Rangers and that kind of stuff, and just donate my time. But anyway, this sled is just 2 bolts. This carriage, this little fence will slide back and forth, and it works real well. This has been around 10-12 years. As you can see, I've got lots of screw holes, and I'll just put a couple tacks in there and keep the log from rolling. The weight of it. This is the kerf keeper, and this keeps the two sides of the plywood together and works out well. Probably could change that out for a piece of hardwood at some point or another. And of course, both sides of the sled, you know, they rub against the fence, and then the keeper keeps them down. I migrated from, you know, using the miter gauge. You know, the thing's always falling off. I remember my wife got out here one time and we lifted a big old oak log up on the thing, about killed both of us. And I thought, you know, enough of that. So that's when I built the 28-inch table to give me plenty of room. And then I tried the miter slot thing, of course, but even at that, they're just the weight of the logs. I do a lot of this, so this takes care of that. A lot of sapwood on the side, so when you put your screw in there, you know, and you go to cutting your pieces, you really don't lose anything like that. The latest modification was this vertical. I had just a one before in the first place, and I broke that off right here because it wasn't. Then I replaced it with a 2x4, and this was on a bucket, and the bucket would just come up and it kind of dangle and swing there and go up there. Well, since I've replaced that with this box I made yesterday, and these have weights from my son's workout days. And this is a piece of red oak. It's about 2 inches by 2 1/4, and it's got a bolt that goes through there. It's screwed to the back, and then these are trolley unistrut trolleys, and they go through a slot in the back, and then they're bolted through here, and then this is screwed onto the box. So this rides up the track, just keeps it from moving around. And there's a screw every about 12 inches up through there. This is a new addition. Of course, I took the winch rope off and using this rope. This is already cut. This setup is already cut many logs, so I'm doing this one just to come up with a new set. And of course, I got the hydraulic tables that go up and down, and there's the winch remote, so I can turn this thing on, line it up, get it ready to roll, and have some fun with it. And again, I'm cutting cedar, so that goes out. These are stops that are built in here. This keeps the sled from stopping there. There's the limit of my cut on the 4 feet. That's a 4-foot fence. And there's the end of that. So I fine-tuned that with, you know, lifting it up off the ground, because this rope does stretch a little bit. And then back to the winch. So there's a stop here as well that keeps this from, you know, getting to that. It's all basically ran by my hand with the, you know, with the winch controller, and so you can keep track of it and while you're doing it. Also, I'm positioned from over here at the switch when I'm cutting, in case I do need to turn it off. This thing gets really dull. You know, it can bind up in the log, and so you don't want to burn anything up and that kind of thing. This blade, I've sharpened it 4 or 5 times at least, probably 6 times, and I'll probably have to sharpen it up again. And I just use a Dremel, and I just go around there. I've got a video on YouTube that shows how to sharpen that up. So that's working right, and I'm getting to that point to where I just need to mount my log, push it over there next to the saw kerf, and make some cuts. And away we go. These are the tools that I'll be using. Remote for the dust collector, so whenever I get ready to turn this on, I just put the pin in around my neck, and the dust collector kicks on up there at the top up there, and turn it off there. Every now and then I get the shop vac over here with the DeWalt Quiet Tech, pull the hose off the reel, bring it over here, and then I'll clean up a little bit that's, you know, right here on the sides of the fence, just to, you know, when I'm getting ready to cut boards. And other than that, I'm going good. I use the drill here to, you know, of course, run the screws in and out. And, you know, that's pretty much it. Got graduation lines on my fence. I've got index lines that go an inch. I would not cut anything less than an inch. Probably inch and a little bit, an inch full is probably better to cut. At the time you get done planing and getting rid of all your marks, you'll come up with a 3/4 inch board. But if you're start out with less than an inch, you know, you're not going to get there. So just cutting it. Now, you know, if he was planing each board and then cutting it, well, that'd be different, but I'm not into that kind of work. So there we go. So that's where we're at. A little view of my shop. Everything's on wheels, and been doing this resawing for many years. Probably close to 15 years I've been resawing logs to lumber, and I enjoy it. CNC's over there, make a lot of stuff with the CNC, all kinds of Ranger projects, and this is all in a 20 by 20 shop, maybe just a little under that, but I had to move everything off to the side to get it out, and fortunately it's on wheels, except for this, of course, this table, but it stores over here in the back side. So there we go, let's get started. And the screw off of here, this one here, and we'll roll that one time. And it's going to need to cut back off that curve quite a bit. Again, this though doesn't really long, so I'm not going to get a whole lot of use out of this thing. Bring it down here, and you can look at the curve. Look at the curve where you're going to be coming out at it. So line it up. Say, okay, that looks pretty good. And line a little bit. And then put a couple screws in it. Sometimes screws are high, sometimes they're low. Well, you don't need so much. This don't need a lot. All you need to do is just keep it from moving. Then take it down through that thing and let it rip. About a month ago, a month and a half ago or so, and it's really wet. So be expected really wet. So after you get a couple sides cut, line it up a little bit more and get a little bit. At it. I want a little more cedar than the white cedar. And sapwood. So bring that about right here. bit. And as it starts getting a little bit lighter, you might find that you need to draw it up tight. So there it is there. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a gap on it. But, we're going to cut that other edge off and then rotate it again. So if I wanted to, I could pull that in a little tighter, which I think I will. That's a little bit too sloppy for me. Right there, pull this one out. Draw that in like that. A lot better. So, hey, Toots, how are you doing?
Good. Did you see the pan of soup?
Yeah, it's right there. On the step.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright, so we're lined up, ready to roll. We're going to go ahead and make a cut on in. Also, on this, I've got this set with quite a bit of weight. I'm going to go ahead and pull 20 pounds off of it just to see if I need all that much weight. No sense in stressing anything out. Find out. Okay, so there's that one. Let's rotate it one more time. You know, it's really funny. Sometimes you look at this stuff and think, that ain't worth that. Well, you go buy that lumber, you go buy these logs, and you'll see that it is worth it. So, you know, get that down to that point there. Not one sticking in here. And a lot of times when I'm working with just a couple of littler ones, I'll pull these out of here. I really have these in here as kind of in storage mode. And I'll generally leave a long one, a short one, maybe a couple in each pocket, and have it go that way. You know, put it over there like that. So, all right, so we got that one going there. Now all we need to do is cut that edge there. Loosen that up a bit. Alright, we got the cameras rolling. We have a pretty good sized log on there. Pretty gnarly. Got a lot of sap in it still. Got, you know, the good stuff on there, so everything's sticky. So I'm having to wipe stuff off with my mineral spirit rag. So when I get done handling it, I can run it off there and away I go. So we're close to running this thing. This log is fairly good sized. Let's turn on the dust collection. And the timer. I have a timer, so I'll forget about it. Set her down. That's not gonna be as long. Here, got some foot in it still. I could probably strip this down, put it on the sled and get another slab out of the middle of it because it has the hardwood in it. Right here, I'm gonna put it over here in that part of it. Again, this is all sticking stuff, so if I don't want the stuff all over all my grills, have to keep my hands clean with that. I can probably put on some gloves, but I'll have them all grind up as well. And it gets a little slicker with like mineral spirit, so do that a little like that. Okay, so that is cleaned off. There we are there, looking nice and pretty. So let's rotate it once and clean it up some more. Okay. Here on the curve, line it up on the curve, loosen the bolts up, pull my fence back out of the way, and set my curve up. So, there's that in, and that in. And I can see the curve kind of lined up in there, and I don't want to waste too much wood. But I do want it down to where I'm getting rid of most of the bark. So come over here and set this back on its index line. That. And again, if I just follow the fence right now, it's not really doing any straight stuff. It's just adding, all it's doing is just holding the material. Sometimes you just got to go with a little bit longer stuff. Sometimes we got the wrong Okay. When all else fails, get you a piece of wood. Start over the scratch. The reason this isn't working right here is because the threads are getting past it. You need to get some of the different size screws out. Maybe not use those so much. Okay. Put this back on the track. Double check, make sure that the back will work, which we are. And we're gonna cut into it here. All these is just a tack, hold it. And again, I am spirited it up. This is my dirty. I filter my mineral spirits with a paper filtering bottom Harbor Freight, like 110 for $5. So when I do paint cleaning and stuff, I keep my pipe there for this good reason, because it keeps my stuff clean. Alright, so let's run that thing and cut all that thing off there. That spike up there at the top may give us a little issue, but we'll find out.
stuff like right down through there, it's constantly falling in on your fence. That, you gotta be, you know, aware of that. And sometimes it's just a matter of getting the ones with a shot of the vacuum. Sometimes you just take a brush or pick it out there. See the dust that's on that thing right there. And when I'm done resawing, I'll vacuum all this lumber, keep it mold from having it done into the mold. And that kind of thing. And then again, that little fiber barrel over there is going to be full not too long. And just a lot of junk that goes on the side of it. Whatever I do to keep it out down, you know, take it a little bit down in here. roll that one more time. And we got an edge there and an edge there. So let's move this down here, put him there. Into that edge. Loosen that up just a hair. Okay, we're looking at our line here. Not too bad. Probably get just a hair more out of that side here. And that's not looking too bad there. Let's move our index strip up and see what kind of a deal is. Now at this point here, I've got a straight edge to go off of. As you can see, I'm wanting to kind of come in where my index lines are. So I'll tie that down to that. And try and start staying within my index line. So, and of course it starts getting easier and easier to draw one up. Probably wouldn't even need more than one in there because the weight of the log is pretty good. So we'll just do that. Two's always good. So we'll let her run and cut us another one. Here's the line up. Get the old vacuum on. Turn it off. Okay, so there we got to that point. It's doing pretty good. Get some action there. Loosen that up a little bit. And at this point here, we can just roll this over here and pull that stuff out of there. And I find it easier to loosen this, position them around the position log for the cut. And I'm going to just do this one here first. And then that one. For most efficient. And cut out of it where I'm not burning all my wood, but yet I'm getting down to a good cut. Let's see where we're at. This one's for us where we're at on our indexing line. Okay. That one right there. So it went like that. I'm gonna have a little bit of waste on this one. So basically, I've got a straight edge here, and I'm gonna try and cut to a straight edge. widest I can, but in some cases, you're just money ahead to cut them down some. Okay, that's going to cut to sapwood. We're going to hit a little bit right here, but let's go ahead and let it rip. come up with an inch, and that'll bring me back down to an inch board when I'm done. So let's go ahead and fire that up.